She walked in like the hearing was an inconvenience, sat down without being asked, and when I began reading the charges, she glanced at her phone, 19 years old, and completely certain this would all just go away. If stories like this matter to you, please subscribe. I share one every week. Cassidy Hargrove, daughter of one of the wealthiest families in the state. 3 weeks earlier, at a restaurant she'd visited once, a manager politely asked her table to lower their voices. What followed wasn't an argument, it was a performance. Glassware swept to the floor, 2 tables overturned, and when Ruthin and the owner, a woman who had spent 17 years building that place, came out herself to ask them to leave, Cassidy looked her in the eye and said, "This restaurant will be shut down before the month is over." Then she walked to her car and told the officer her father's people would handle it. In my courtroom, her attorney called it hyperbole, frustration, an overreaction from the staff. I let him finish. Then I turned directly to Cassidy. "Do you believe what you did was wrong?" She said the situation had been blown out of proportion, that the staff had been rude first, that someone needed to hear that. The gallery went completely silent. I looked at her calmly. "You're not in a room where your last name changes the rules. You're in a courtroom, and what your father's people promised outside these doors means nothing in here." Something flickered across her face, not guilt. She was still testing whether I was serious. Then I read Ruth's victim impact statement aloud. The broken glass, the lost income, her longtime servers quietly asking if the restaurant was really going to be shut down. That was the cost Cassidy had left hanging in the air over 23 employees. $15,000 in restitution, 300 hours of community service at small businesses built by people who had started with nothing, a written apology delivered in person to Ruth and her staff. No check from Dad would satisfy it. She had to show up herself. Months later, she did. At a small print shop, she stayed 2 hours past her required time to help finish a client order. She didn't announce it. She just stayed. I can't guarantee that one moment changed her forever, but Ruth Anand's restaurant is still open. Her staff watch the law show up for them. Sometimes that's exactly what justice looks like. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today.